right, so we are back for another cheat code to the Matrix. All right, so this is overcoming mistakes. All right, because before we even get into that, go watch the Matrix so you can kind of have a more understanding of what I'm talking about. But the battle that happens in the Matrix is similar to the battle that happens within ourselves. Okay, and you have to overcome yourself in order to get to where you want to get to. All right, but everybody freaking says that, but nobody breaks it down. Okay, so this is gonna be broken down. Well, no one broke it down to the way that I could understand it. Okay, and have actionable steps. So the video before this was one way of how to crack the code of the Matrix. This is another part of that series, I guess. All right, so let's get into it. So, cracking the code of the Matrix when it comes to making mistakes, all right, is understanding, first off, that everybody is going to make mistakes. Mistakes are a part of life. Mistakes are a direct reflection and result of success. Okay? The only way that you can have success in any way, shape, or form is to have had a certain amount of mistakes as well. Because mistakes are purely just the result of an action. All right? Once again, mistakes are, and let me add to that. Mistakes are the unintended result of an action. Okay? But successes are the intended result of an action. As far as that's a baseline level definition. Of course, are there examples when your successes, your perceived successes are done? Could there be negative consequences? Absolutely. Are there positive consequences from your perceived failures and rejections? Absolutely. Okay. All of us that have been rejected by Hollywood are probably jumping for joy, shaking like in church, right now. Let's just keep it a band sandwich. Anyway, success is the result of something, some actions and things taken. Mistakes are the result of actions and things taken. The reason why mistakes are so impactful in our lives and in your life is because of the trigger that caused that mistake and like what you think is going to happen afterwards. For example, if you grew up with a family that was really, really critical of you, and maybe they hit you, maybe they yelled at you, maybe they called you out of your name when you did something that they did not like, something that they considered a bad thing, you would have mistakenly caused them to yell at you. You would have mistakenly caused them to do this thing. Now, listen to what I'm saying here, okay? That's what we're thinking, and that's a baseline level understanding. Now, did you plug that trigger up in that specific way? No. So you did not cause it in that way. You did not cause them to react like that. You caused it because you walked past the trap. Like in the woods, right? Let's say you're going to get some treasure. There's a line of a trap on the ground. So you walk through the line in the trap, and then from there, pop, and then a cage falls on your head. You triggered the trap. You caused by walking through it unintentionally. You hit the string and then the trap fell on you. And that is what happens in our life. Everybody has triggers. And a lot of people, like it seems like the further back in generations you go, the more increased the trauma is, it seems like. And so the longer you've been on this planet, the more access you've had to certain unpleasant experiences, and making mistakes was really frowned upon because there was a time, and this is how genetics is so interesting, but there was a time when if you made a mistake, you could probably cost the life of the entire village. So mistakes were not tolerated. Because if you made a mistake and you accidentally called the Jaguar 5 minutes early when it was running towards you, and you were supposed to call it like a little bit later because then they weren't ready to like pow that thing out, and then it comes and attacks you, and then you like run to your village. So now the jaguar knows where your village people are, and you just compromise the whole village. So there was a time when mistakes really, really impacted you. Slavery was a time when mistakes really, really impacted you, because if you messed up the seasoning for the mashed potatoes, you could have been whipped in front of your children, or assaulted in front of your children on display. You could have been whipped for speaking, you know. So if you're part of the diaspora whose grandparents and parents were oppressed, you're gonna have a little bit more to deal with when it comes to getting past mistakes, because the people that raised you and the people that raised them and the people that raised them, you know, had some experiences. And we're not going to sit up here and say that slavery, this transatlantic slave trade, does not still impact what's going on today. We're not going to sit up here and pretend that that's accurate. Now, what we can acknowledge is that if you have the will, that you have a way. If there's a Quizlet, there's an A. We can acknowledge that, yes, but we can also acknowledge that this game ain't fair. This playing field isn't that leveled. Is it fair to say that with effort you can achieve and grow? Absolutely. But is it fair to say that this thing is fair? No, absolutely not, actually. Absolutely not. So with that being said, you know, we're dealing with because in general, mistakes could have got you in a doozy. But for people that grandparents and great grandparents were beat and eaten and used as bait for no reason, your mistakes are going to cost you worse, because they want to train you the right way to do stuff around, I'm going to train you how to be my slave. So, you know, you gonna do this. So your parents were the result of that. And depending on how horrible those jailers, because I'm not gonna call them masters, okay? Because the master of what? But the jailers, they, depending on how egregious they were, I think that triggers into potential DV in more in now place. Like if perhaps if your people came from a really horrible jail and incarceration, I don't know, there's no way to describe that, the atrocities that occurred. And if your people came from a really horrible thing, perhaps that follows the generations. And these are the things that we must discuss, and these are the things that we must remove. And addressing the mistakes in your life can help you do that. Because the people who raised you and who raised them, just think about the tree that you are aware of, and think about how healthy or poisonous that tree was. So that is what you are dealing with when it comes to making mistakes. And that is why it can be hard for you to keep moving, because of how horrible the result of you messing up was, how much pressure you have had to put on yourself, how much pressure is in reality on you, and how much you want your dream so bad that you're willing to push through that anyway. That's takes strength, effort, and courage. And just the fact that you can do that is powerful. And you got to have grace with yourself and recognize that you are enough now. Look at what you're doing. Now, and a way to get to that point more is to become more balanced and ease up off yourself when you make a mistake, because that evil being that was tormenting you might not be around you anymore physically. So if you are around an evil being who torments you for making mistakes, first off, get somewhere safe and do everything in your power to get away from that being. Everything in your power to get away from that situation first. then rest and recover and move and keep going and push through. Rest and recover and push through and take action, because at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, and everything in between, you are your only hope. You are your greatest gift to yourself. There is nothing wrong with you. You are no less valuable than someone else. You are worthy. You are deserving. You deserve to have all the beautiful things in life. And if you can get to that point, and you know that, with time, you will start to ease up off of yourself when you make mistakes, because you can recognize that mistakes are a part of life. Mistakes are successes, and you're not going to get whipped for making a mistake. You may be a slave to society, but at least you ain't no slave picking cotton in the field right now. So take advantage of that. Did our ancestors have it tough, rough with the Afro puffs? Yes. Okay? And I shouldn't have even made that little joke just then. Was it tough? Yes. Tough is, I can't even begin to fathom that. For women, period, as well. I can't begin to fathom what it was like. For Black Americans, okay? I can't even. For the people that are dark skinned and dark complected across this entire globe, I can't begin to relate to the travesties that they experienced. And I acknowledge that. And I respect them. I respect all that came before me for that, for being able to survive. And each generation of us, we owe it to them. Instead of keep being mad and using it as an excuse not to prevail now, use it as a reason to succeed. Because mistakes give you reasons or they give you excuses, but you get to decide, is the mistake that I made going to be an excuse for why I'm not successful, or is the mistake that I made going to be the reason that I keep pushing? Because if I'm so power to the people and I'm not taking advantage of the world around me to prosper for them, am I really power to the people, or am I just angry? And you know what? It's okay to be angry. Because you might have a right to be angry. Who knows what happened to you? No one has the right to tell you that you shouldn't be angry. Now, could your anger be stifling your growth? Could your anger be holding you back? Yes. But no one has the right to tell you how you're supposed to feel at any moment. No one has the right to tell you, don't be upset, don't cry. Why? If that's how I'm feeling about it, I have a right to that emotion. You have a right to feel how you feel. And though, you have also a right not to let that feeling stop you. You have a right to keep going even with that feeling. You have a right to keep striving even if you feel like stopping. You have a right to having a beautiful life. You deserve that. You deserve it. And you know how you start to feel like you deserve it? Because that's a loose word for some people. Some of us, I just always say some of us because I feel like I don't want to say I, and I feel like we're all connected. So some of us have more trauma than that. So you could say, I could sit up here and tell you deserve it all day long and you wouldn't believe me, because of whatever happened to you. And that wasn't your fault, but it is your responsibility and something you can do. At least it's within your power to change that for yourself. Now, how do you do that? That is by doing things that you respect and be respecting yourself, doing things that you respect to yourself. So if you respect people that, oh my gosh, squirrel. Oh my goodness, oh my gosh, that was crazy. My heart just like, squirrel just like came up and looked at me. We made eye contact and we both like frightened each other because I'm pretty loud. So like it got super close. So I'm just like, did you not hear me, or you just didn't care? Because you just want to be nosy and see who it is. That was pretty interesting. What the freak? Okay. Anyway, the universes, man. All right. So yeah, you do things that you respect. So if you respect people that walk a mile a day, you don't have to start out walking a mile a day. You can start out by taking the steps instead of the elevator. That's one step closer to what you're trying to do. That's one step closer to success. If you want to thrive and you respect people that are happy, and jealousy lets you know what you want. And let me explain. This is so many gems for this cheat code to the Matrix thing. Like, you should. This is way more than I thought I was gonna say today. You should comment and let me know what you got. I'm curious, even if you get offended, because that's also a good thing. But whatever. So, I think that. What the freak was I about to say? That squirrel really threw me for a doozy. But anyway, if you I'll just go somewhere else with it. So if you show up, jealousy, babe. I know someone's like, should hurry up. Well, this is how I am, okay? Period. If you don't like it, fast forward. Anyway, so jealousy will let you know where you are, what you really want, because you are angry at those people because they have what you want to have, because you are not allowed to have that thing, or you can't have that thing, so you're mad that they have it. But there are certain things that you can achieve. Like, you can achieve happiness. Happiness does exist. You can achieve those things. So to me, I think that happiness is something that's ready and available everywhere. If you look and find it. It's not in short supply, but it's also something that you have to protect. You just like with anything, you have a garden, you have to protect it from the bunny rabbits. You have to protect it from the aphids and all this other stuff. My battery finna die. You have to protect it from all these things. So your happiness, you have to protect. Your peace, you have to protect. Your energy, you have to protect. Have your defenses up. Guilty until proven innocent, as far as I'm concerned. Period. But though, so jealousy lets you know that you want that thing. So if you don't have anything in mind that you specifically respect about someone, you do, but you also probably then, if you don't have that, you have things that you're jealous that people do. And so if you start doing those things as much as you possibly can, you will start to feel better about yourself. And then the reality around you will improve organically, little by little. And then you will have a little bit more room to do this other thing that you wanted to add. And then the universe will improve too. Then you have a little bit more, because you're building your capacity. Just like if you have a computer, right, and you have a certain amount, let's say a phone. You have a phone, you have a certain amount of storage on that phone. You can buy into the cloud and increase your capacity for storage, and then now you have more storage capacity. You can now save more things, you can do more. So that's what happens when you just incrementally make changes in your life. And that's why I always say it's compound interest, because if you incrementally add things, you're now not operating at 10%. You might be operating at 10.5%. But that's still 0.5% more than 10. You might be operating at 11% or 12%. And then those other 10% people will start coming around you like, what the heck are you doing? Because then they become jealous that now you're operating at 11%. But they can also develop and put in the work. But some people just don't want to, and they'd rather just stay where they are, and then they want you to be there too, but you don't have to be there. Now, you're now operating at 12%, right? Then you and you add more capacity. You grow. You have to expel something to get that thing. So let's say, and that's where it says sacrifices, because you're making changes. You're leaving something to get something else. So you could be deciding, okay, instead of drinking 5 cans of soda, I'm gonna drink 3. To someone else, that might be like, what? You drank 5 cans of soda? Okay, you drank 5 cans of soda, and what about it? And now I'm drinking 3 because I'm improving. Well, that's not improvement. It is for you. It is for me, because I was drinking 5 cans of soda. Now I'm drinking 3 cans of soda. So, signature round of applause for me for putting in effort and doing it. And now I ain't gonna tell your raggedy daggly self, because clearly, and that's fine. You can have that thought, you can have that feeling, but I'm not going to talk about that journey with you anymore, because I respect myself too much to put myself in that situation. And I know that when something's a seedling, anything can pull it out of the ground. So I know that if I keep sharing my happy news, my progress with a being that doesn't appreciate it and would pull it out, then the chances of it succeeding and actually fruiting are slim. So then if I keep doing that, then it becomes my fault. But it doesn't mean that it makes me bad. It just means that it's something that I need to be aware of, and I need to read the room before I start telling people my business. Right? So then you're like, okay, well, now I'm drinking 3 cans of soda. That's an improvement. Then from 3, you might move down to 2. And then from 2, you might move down to 1. And then from 1, you might move down to once every other day, and it just continues and continues, and it continues to improve in the way that you want it to improve. And that was something small. You didn't go and say, you know what, I'm gonna change everything right now, and I'm gonna go to the gym 7 days. No, you know what, no, I'm gonna go to the gym 30 days a week. There's only 7 days in the week, but I'm gonna go 30 because I'm gonna go multiple times a day, and I'm gonna go during lunch, and I'm gonna go after dinner. I'm gonna wake up 3 in the morning, and I'm gonna go 3 in the morning, and that's how I'm gonna do it. And yeah. And then you don't do it. You know why? Because that doesn't even make any sense. Why would you do that? There's not even 7 days in a week. So you set yourself up for the biggest goal possible, and then you shoot super, super high. They say shoot for the moon, and then you might land on the star. Shoot for the top of the house first, because it's easier to get there. So then you do all that, and then you don't even do 1 day, where you might do 2 days, and that's it, because it's not sustainable. It's not. It just because someone else does that in their life doesn't mean that that's where you are right now. And you could be someone else. You could be someone who would prefer to just have a simpler day, so you could work out and when you felt like it, or you could work from home and walk on the treadmill during, every so often. Or you can so those things can happen if, instead of saying I'm going to change everything, you can say, okay, I'm gonna drink 2 cans of soda, and understand that part of you, that there's all this other stuff, and there's gonna be a voice that's, well, you got all this other stuff to do, and you only doing this. Well, I'm doing as much as I can right now, and respond to that voice. Don't let it you in your mind. You don't let nobody pick on you in your house. You don't let, even if it's your voice, you don't let the programming, because what it is like in They Clone Tyrone, it's a tape that's playing in your head of what you have heard growing up. You need to talk back to that thing. You don't, just like, I remember I was talking to these 3 young people who are very, very sweet. And there was this other young person who was in the house, same people's house. And this person was bullying these people. And I was like, there's multiple of you, and there's only one of this person, and you are in your house. You do not get bullied in your own house. That's crazy. It's crazy. No. Absolutely not. So then they handled it. Because sometimes you just got to remember to out crazy that mofo. You might got to out crazy your own self, your own lesser part. Hello, Mr. Score, you ain't finna scare me this time. Come on. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you, but you tried it. You ain't finna be scared in your own house. Because you see, when I said first, he looking over here, then when I talk about being scared, because He frightened me that time, then he come up in here. You ain't gonna scare me in my own yard. I don't think so. So you ain't gonna scare me in my own house. Okay? So get that way to that thing that's in your mind. How crazy you. Because as crazy as you were down and out and depressed, you're crazier now, feeling good. So you might gotta remind that version of you that's in there talking that mess, yapping, doing too much, mad at the world. You know, a reflection of those who programmed you when you was a child. That's who's in your head. So you might not be able to get closure with them, but you can get closure with that MF in your brain. You might not be able to have that conversation with that physical version of them, but you can talk to them in your mind. You can get that person that hurt you together in your mind, because they're still there, reminding you of how low you are, reminding you how stupid you are, reminding you of how you ain't gonna be nothing anyway. So I don't even know why you try. Nobody cares what you have to say. You don't matter. You don't matter. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares what you have to say. That's who's in your mind. That's who's in your mind. But they tell them to get out. Because you might not have been able to defend yourself then. But you can now. That's who you up against. That's who's in your mind. That's who's trying to hold you back. You. Them in your mind like a condo living rent free. So not only, listen, let me tell you how they are disrespecting you, okay? So you can get riled up and how crazy them next time they come around. Next time in your mind tries to get you, remember who this is, okay? Because now they sleeping on your couch, they eating up all your food, and they don't pay rent, and they complaining. Like SpongeBob when he finally crashed out on Squidward. He was like, once again, that's not enough. It's not good enough for you. And then think about who that is. That person who used to hit you is living in your house for free, yelling at you. That person that used to yell at you is in your house for free, complaining, not paying rent, eating up all your food and your snacks in your house, talking to you crazy in your house. Oh no, because in the physical, if that would have happened, something would have had to be done. Something would have had to change. You don't just get to come up in here and act any kind of way and think this is going to be okay. No. But that's who you're up against in your mind. So you got to out crazy that person. You got to let them know, this is my house. This is my mind. This is my body. Get out. Get out. And you have to boss up on them. You have to have courage with yourself. And then things around you will change. And you have to just keep going. Keep going. And you got to be able to see it. You got to be able to see it. Look for it. Read books on it. Learn it. Become obsessed with progress within yourself. Become obsessed with yourself. People that tell you that doing self-care is selfish are trying to manipulate you. And you might have grown up with some really, really turd people in your life. And you might have a lot to get through. You might have a lot to get through. Things that if we talk about, you could cry. And you have to acknowledge that. You might have to cry. You might got to go to a rage room. But if you're going to do anything, I'd rather be angry than sad. I don't know about you. I'd rather be angry than depressed. Because at least if I'm angry, I feel powerful and I can do something. And then at least with my anger, maybe I can record this video because now it's personal. Because now I'm doing it because I'm getting back at that player in my brain, because you ain't finna disrespect me in my house. You ain't finna stop me in my own house. Let me hurry up because I only got 5%. You ain't finna stop me in my house. I'm gonna keep going anyway, and I'm gonna go as hard as possible now, because now you're disrespecting me, and it's the principle. So I'd rather be angry than depressed. I'd rather be PO'd off. And I'm very not, I don't be getting angry anymore like that for real. I do get angry sometimes, so don't get it twisted. But I don't be getting like that anymore. I used to be a little crazy. But anyway, oh well. I'd rather be crazy and upset than sad in the corner crying. I'd rather be angry than depressed. Because if I'm angry, at least I can get up and go. You know how many fights were won by somebody angry? You ain't never seen nobody get in the boxing ring sad and knock that MF out in one fell swoop. They be ready to, oh, help me, get me out of here. Why you get your sad self in that ring then? Get angry. Get angry. Get angry at the MF for putting his hands on you. Get angry at at your mama for yelling at you and cussing at you. Get angry at your mama for being mad at you, for calling her, interrupting her day even though she got caller ID. Get angry at your father for hiring you and kicking you out and throwing your stuff out on the street and making everybody think you're crazy. Get mad. Get angry. Get angry at your sister for abandoning you and selling you to that whoever. I don't know what your situation is. I'm just throwing stuff out the air. Get angry about it and change it. And then kick that MF out of your mind. Get angry. I don't have to be angry than sad. Shoot, don't nobody have a right to tell you how to feel. If you're angry, you're angry. You have a right to be angry. And once again, and everybody trying to heal depression, they putting that stuff out there on purpose. Because if you're sad, you're easy to take over. If you're sad, your defenses ain't up. If you're sad, you're not paying attention. I'm angry. I'm angry all the time when I look at the state of the world. That's why I keep getting up every day to create. It's not because I'm happy. I am happy. You know, I am happy, but happiness is not enough to make progress the way you need to make progress. Happiness can make you stationary and comfortable with the situation you are in when you want better for yourself and the world. So yes, be happy. Absolutely. I think happiness is a gem, and I think happiness is a part of success. But so is anger. I'm angry at the state of my community. I'm angry that everywhere in the world, Black people specifically are discriminated against. I'm angry that in Europe, they laugh at Black Americans for not knowing where we come from. You don't know where you come from either. You come from the country that's named what it currently is, but was that what it was before? Do you speak a native dialect, or do you speak English and French? Do you wear your African clothes around, or are you walking around in a suit and tie? Don't come to me with that BS. I'm angry about that. I'm angry about the fact that that's what's being pushed, because not everybody's like that. And maybe that comes from ignorance in their own life. But that makes me angry. It makes me angry when I know how impoverished people are, that they got 6 kids working on a McDonald's salary. I'm angry that it would take a certain amount of money to fix this freaking country and we sending it over to wars. I'm angry about that stuff. So I'm angry enough to get out here and produce and make my content and create what I want to create. I'm angry enough to do it. I'm not happy enough to do it. I'm angry about it. I don't let my anger control me, but I do let my anger fuel me. I'm not gonna not be angry at stuff that's worth and righteous of anger. What? You think our ancestors wasn't angry that they was being stolen from their families? Anger. I have a right to be angry. I have a right to be angry. You have a right to be angry. You have a right to make a mistake. But moreover than that, this has taken a turn. We ain't talking about mistakes no more. We did that. You have a right to be angry. I have a right to be angry. And I use my anger. I'm angry all the time, every day, when I look around at my state of my people and my community. I'm angry about it. People don't know that. But they do now. But I'm beyond peed off about it, if I'm frank. I'm angry that some children don't even know what a pineapple is that doesn't come out of a can. I'm angry that we have all these freaking trees everywhere and no food. I'm angry that they're killing the damn own planet. I'm angry that there's all this trash everywhere. I'm angry that I can't use a plastic bag and now I gotta pay a damn 10 cents for a bag. Now what am I gonna do for my deep conditioner? I'm angry about that. Because what the freak, I'm angry that I got to use a paper straw. And by the time I'm done drinking my drink, the dang on straw done. And I'm sipping, trying to figure out where my water is. And it's still in the can. It's still in the bottle because it's a dang on paper straw. And the straw done degrade, and now my water is dirty looking. I'm angry about that. I'm angry about a lot of stuff. But I'm angry enough to acknowledge and move. I'm angry enough to be angry at whoever caused this stuff. I'm angry enough to be angry at people who are toxic. I'm angry enough. And so you're not going to disrespect me in my own head anymore. It's not happening. You have to act like that. Those beings are not going to disrespect you in your own mind unless you allow it. So pick now today to get those people out of here. So I guess we are talking about mistakes still. To get those people out of your mind so that when you do make a mistake, you recognize that that's just a result of a success. Now I know what not to do. Great. Now I'm one step closer for what to do. All right? Get those people out of your mind. Okay? Period. And fight them in your head. Take them out. And recognize you have a right to be angry. I have a right to be angry. And anger is powerful. Powerful. My anger is what is my why. My why is not because, the reason why I get up every day and do what I'm supposed to do is not because I want to live on a yacht boat. Yes, will living on a yacht boat be amazing? Absolutely, because it will occur. But my why is because there are children around this world who need to hear what I have to say. There are parents and people who around the world who need to hear what I have to say. Because this is crazy what's happening around us. I need to feel like I am putting my best foot forward because I want to feel valuable. Everybody wants to feel valuable, and I want to know that I'm doing the best that I can. Period. So when that MFing voice comes around knocking, trying to tell me who I am and what I am and all this stuff, oh, you better be ready, because I'm finna pop you in the head. Get out of my mind. You know why? Because I drink 3 cans of soda instead of 5. You know why I'm feeling good today, baby? Because I came out and I recorded videos from my classes, for my girls. I recorded information for both my channels. I'm about to put some videos on the TikTok. I'm finna do my hair. I'm finna have a good time with my family. I'm finna have a good day. And you know why? It's for the version of me who couldn't do all that. You know why? It's for the person before me. You know why? It's for the people that come after me. You know why? It's because F you, the person who hurt me growing up. F you. Look at me now. F you. Not F me, F you. Period. So that's how you can stop feeling like a victim too. I'd rather be angry than depressed. I'd rather be angry than sad. Because I'm angry every day, every minute, every second. I'm angry. Beneath everything else, I just have a baseline of anger. How could you not? With all of this stuff happening, how could you not? And to pretend like it is lunacy. Do I let that anger control me? Am I enraged? No, there's a difference. To me, anger is healthy. Anger is necessary to win. You have to be angry. It's part of life. You don't have to have rage. Those are different things, but that's another topic for another day. See ya.